You always do it. You do it to us.
Phone's on silent. You guys
Silent.
All right, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Storyworks podcast. I am your host, Zac Andrew.
And I'm Andrew Hall.
And today we have a very exciting guest, a local director from Cleveland. How you doing, Ariel?
What's going on? I am Ariel Alexander Fiore. How you guys doing?
Good, man.
Doing
It's
great. How are you?
Good.
pleasure to have you on today, man. Seriously, thanks for making the trip out.
Yeah, no, it's always fun. I appreciate it. You guys having me out.
Yeah, for sure, man. We're trying to kind of get a view on kind of breaking into the film industry from like a lower level, not listening to about the guys out in LA. We're here in Cleveland.
Oh yeah, no.
It's a little bit harder, so we like to pick people's brains and kind of how they get started. So my first question for you is, when did you first know you wanted to be a director and you wanted to start doing this thing?
Okay, so this is a story a lot of people don't actually believe because they're like, oh, you're pretty good at directing. So for me, I've noticed that when I originally went to film school, I was out in Seattle.
Gotcha.
It was kind of tough. Things were hard. I had to leave Cleveland because shit was just, I don't know, it was going bad.
Yeah.
And
About what year was that?
that was like 2019. It was like right before the pandemic. It was
Gotcha.
probably the worst time, but nobody knew.
Right.
How could you can't prepare.
That's when I started my business the month before COVID hit.
Yeah, a lot of people
Bad
did.
time.
I felt terrible for all those people. Like, man, I'm finally going to live my dream and own my business. And then 2020 March, and I'm like,
Right.
It's a hard knocks life.
So you
was.
head to Seattle.
I had the Seattle. So like New York, I hit like a hammer with COVID, and then right after that, it was Seattle,
Yeah.
and everything shut down. It was bananas. So I was out there, and I decided that when I was going to go out there, I was going to go to film school.
Gotcha.
So I went to Seattle Film Institute out there, and I was originally going because I was going to be a cinematographer.
Really?
Yeah. So I used to do photography. I still do from time to time, but I was originally trying to be a photographer.
Wow.
I think when something doesn't work for you for a while, it's either you have two options to look at it one of two ways. It's either it's not meant to happen or it's not meant to happen right now. And I believe sometimes the universe will kind of guide you as to which of the two it is. And for me, after years of trying to break into the photo scene and not becoming the next Richard Avedon, which is like the greatest
Yeah.
photographer ever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, Richard Avedon inspired me to pick up a camera. His work was just phenomenal. And I was like, you know what?
Something you strived for. Then.
It was. I
Yeah.
was like, the first time I ever saw one of his photos, it was it's called The Beekeeper. It was from a series called Into the West. And he would go out and he would set up these white drops and shoot with this big, huge, giant 8x10 camera. And he
Wow.
would shoot at like f/64, which is like highest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
he's getting all this detail. And it's all in black
Yeah.
and white. And he did the shot called The Beekeeper of this dude covered in bees.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
And when I saw it, it was just, you ever see a piece of art that just punches you in the gut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're just like, this is,
Imagery that just sticks with you.
It strikes you.
it was so
and-
raw.
yeah.
It was so, it was like, I was like, this can't be real. And it just inspired me to be like, what did he do?
How did he get? How did
How
this
did he
happen?
get this person? Like,
Yeah.
what kind of master manipulator do I have on my hands here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the
Can
more
I
I
do
read about
something
him,
like that?
the more I was like, I just want to do what he does. And I got into it, didn't work out. So I was like, you know what? I've always loved film. Maybe this will translate. Maybe I'll be a really great, cinematographer as far as a moving piece of art.
Yeah.
So I went out there and I started doing film. Well, fun thing about film school is they didn't teach me shit all about actually running a camera.
Nice.
Oh,
I learned
nice.
nothing.
Nice.
I did learn how to write scripts because
Yeah.
one of my professors is really good at kind of giving you the fundamentals. But the real goal, and I'm going to tell this to anybody who's listening, if you were trying to write scripts and you think it sucks, it probably does at first. And that's fine because you got to learn. It's all about
Right.
finding
Yeah.
your flow.
Exactly.
The goal is, I'm going to tell you right now, and you've heard it from probably other people, write. Just keep writing, write. And I would just write all these short scripts to get a flow, to get a feel for it, to get comfortable.
It's the best way
Get
to
your
do it.
sense,
Yeah.
your writing style down.
To
and-
get like what do you want to write about? What's your real thing? Some people they want to do westerns, some people they want to do sci-fi. Some people, you're gonna find your niche. And for me, I like to write a lot about drama. I've tried my hand at comedy, and we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
And so I went and I did my first. I had this first script that was really good. And my buddy, who was my buddy, his name was Luke out there.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, we should do this one." I'm like, "Yeah, sweet." And we got a bunch of local cats together, and he's like, "Oh, I'll DP because I want to DP because he's always doing sound."
Gotcha.
And he's like, "I want to be behind the camera." And I'm like, "All right, that's fair." I was like, "Well, I don't know, what should I do?" He's like, "Well, you should direct it." I'm like, "I don't want to direct it." I had no desire. I had zero desire to direct anything.
Don't put me on that platform right now.
I was like,
man.
"No, I will fight you for that camera, though."
Right.
And,
Right.
and he was like, "No, man, it's your script, it's your story, you direct it." I'm like, "Okay." Now, granted, he wrote half of it, but I think he just really wanted that camera, which is fine.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I just kind of like conceded, and I was like, all right, fine, I'll do it.
Fine, I'll do it. Yeah.
First time directing, and it was very nerve wracking because you're running a small crew. It's you know, we only had like 4 actors. It was me and Luke doing pretty much everything because it was like right around the time where things was getting bad pandemic wise.
Yeah.
We were trying to keep it low key, and but it was really nerve wracking to be like, oh my god, these people are. I mean, when you're the director, you're the captain of the ship.
Right.
You have the last say. You say
Yeah.
what is, and I mean, like I have people looking at me for answers. Now, while I don't mind that to a point, it's still you're stepping into a role you've never done before.
Yeah, it can be
Exactly.
stressful.
It is, and I was kind of freaking out. Like,
Do
a
you
week-
find yourself like before this to be a natural kind of a leader or not?
Yeah, I think that's why it's good for me.
Okay.
Because I usually would just like I will take charge of a situation
Gotcha.
and not to be like that pretentious douche that does like, oh, I'll take over.
Oh no, but
Yeah.
some,
But I mean,
some
like,
people
I'm-
are more comfortable in those
I'm just
roles.
really good at being like, okay, let's just do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Right.
And then just get it out, or let's get
Some
it over.
people are like indecisive and can't come
they
up
just
with
say,
like shots they want to do. Maybe we'll do this. Maybe we'll do. You're the one who comes in and is just like, all right, this,
No.
this,
And
this.
Zach saw that firsthand.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, I can't deal with this. No. So I was like, all right, that's cool. And I think that natural ability to be a leader in situations helped me navigate the first time around. And so that's how I got my start in directing, was actually not trying to be a director. And then people kept telling me I was good at it, so I
Yeah.
just kept doing it.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So you
That's a
kind of
super
really
cool story.
dove into writing and directing.
Yeah, I mean, I've always had a love for writing and my love of building characters. I mean, as nerdy as anybody says, I don't give a shit. If anybody's out there and you want to make fun of me for being a nerd, that's fine.
Dude, we're
I
all
used to play
nerds
D&D.
here.
Yeah,
I used to
for
play
sure.
D&D,
Yep.
so I
Oh,
used
yeah.
to build
Yep.
characters like nobody's
Same.
business. And so like I'd go
Absolutely.
in depth in their backstories. So everybody's like, oh, how do you build characters? I'm like, I learned how to do it from playing D&D when I was like
Exactly.
16.
Yeah.
We could have a 3-hour podcast talking about our D&D
Literally
sessions,
just-
bro.
just
I'm
D&D
telling you,
talk.
like,
Oh, man.
we have fun with D&D.
Oh, some of
here,
my
believe
favorite
me.
years. I mean, like you'd literally
Yep.
sit around your buddy's house with like two liters of Mountain Dew, some
Yeah.
chips,
Get some
and you just-
pizza or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
4
you'd be there
hours
all day.
later.
Yes, sir.
But that foundation for that helped me build characters, and then
Definitely.
my foundation for just loving film and cinema and writing built my ability to take those characters and create a flow to the story.
Yeah.
So everything that I kind of experienced over my life is, I started to notice that all these components that help me do what I do now, which is direct.
right.
That's super cool.
Yeah,
that's
that's awesome,
like
man.
really, really cool.
So have you ever found yourself in a position like literally thinking about a character like charisma 10 points? Kinda like,
I've heard
like,
that that's like a like if you get like start to
if
get like
you start to
writer's
get
block or
stumped,
whatever.
it's something you can do just to like, how can I
just
mix up this
D&D build a
character?
character.
That's a -2. And
Yeah, right.
and you take damage. Sorry.
Right.
No, it's just like
I found world building it was something that D&D really helped me like flesh out in my writing personally.
No, I mean, look, a lot of people not misinterpret. They just kind of they don't really appreciate the value of something like D&D because it really puts you in a position where you have to be insanely creative.
Oh no, absolutely. I was gonna bring up, yeah.
Yeah.
It just it makes you it opens up like the spigot on
Yeah.
on the creative
Because you
faucet.
have to build this place. You have to
Right.
make it believable for if you're the DM or just in general, like if you're a character in the game, you have to embody that character.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, like, and you have to make it real. You have to really get into it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's all about
dude.
immersion.
I mean,
Yeah,
if we're
for sure.
talking D&D for a minute, we had a character in one of our sessions, one of our players. We were in the Underdark, and he had started to go insane.
Yeah.
And he just one of these nights we were just traveling with like our like squadron of soldiers that we had following us,
This is
and
like
he
this is
like
like a year campaign for
yeah,
sure.
we like we had played with these characters in a prior campaign and everything.
Mhm.
So there's all these connections built up, and he just goes insane and just he kills a dude, and the entire time the player himself is just getting like wasted.
Oh,
drunk.
it's better.
dude.
He's
It's
just
like
getting
he
in the
knew his
character.
fate
Yes.
by the end of the
Yep,
session, right?
And yeah, he was just like resigned to his fate. He's like, I'm just going full in on it.
Yeah, dude.
And then it was up to like the members of the party to be like, look, man, you're just going through a really hard moment.
yeah.
And we like pled his case to the survivors and all that. It was a really intense moment.
Very
But that
tense.
goes to like the creative capabilities of D&D.
story arcs, man. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all there.
I
for-
mean, think about that. He literally thought of that at the moment, like, what if this dude just goes bananas?
Yep.
You know? And I mean, see, that's what I'm saying. It really does. It opens up that spigot, and you're just like, oh,
Roll with
man.
it.
Like, and yeah, you're just rolling through it.
It's so cool.
So, like, for me, like, when people are like, oh, and they think I'm being funny when I say that, but I'm like, no, bro, I literally learned how to write characters, build characters by playing D&D when I was 15.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're all outed as big fucking nerds
Oh, dude.
here.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we
Huge
completely, yeah.
Also, I just wanted to say I really, really like your like positive mindset that you brought up when you talked about your switch from like photography to videography.
Yeah. Absolutely.
How it was, instead of just taking it as a loss, you viewed it as maybe I'm not
Another
meant to do it
opportunity.
right
No,
now.
and I mean, like here, and I'll be honest with you. I mean, that's what podcasting is all about. Is like getting real with cool people, and I'll just be
Right.
real. Like it was crushing.
Oh
I
yeah,
chased that dream for years, and it crushed me when I realized it just wasn't
Right.
meant to be. And my brother is a photographer, and he's 10 times a photographer I am,
Mhm.
and it comes naturally for him. So I want to punch him in the face.
I was gonna say
all
yeah,
the
it's
time.
gotta burn.
Because I'm like,
Yeah.
I fucking hate you. And he's so good at it. But that's the thing. That's his path.
Mm-hmm.
It's whereas like my path is this. But I mean, like it crushed me. It took me when I sold my camera and all my gear, and
Yeah.
I gave up. Like it was really. It was
Oh yeah,
that
I can
is-
imagine
yeah.
that would be like a very
Yeah.
emotional moment.
Because like what we call that, I don't know if you've ever heard it before, but when like you see people selling all their gear, we call that cashing out. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
they're just
Mm.
done. And
Yeah.
so like that's what I did. I cashed out, and then like I was like, I can't do this anymore because I can't. It's not working.
Mhm.
Right.
But then I had to change my mindset. Well, there is something else because this is what I'm meant to do. I'm meant to do something with art.
Yeah,
But I just had to find where it was.
had to find your outlet.
Exactly.
And I'm glad that you did. I'm glad you didn't just kind of give up on the artistic
No,
dream.
because then I
a
wouldn't be
lot of
sitting here with
people
you right
do.
now.
Yeah.
Right, exactly, man. No, for sure. Like, I feel like creatives like us thrive on the creative process, like for sure. And there's just no living without it. You know what I mean? And
No.
So I'm really glad that you found your avenue to slide in and that you really fell in love with directing. That's awesome.
And that's funny because like I said, I had no intention of doing it, and it just kind of the path kind of opened up, and it chose me,
Right.
and it was like, this is what you're meant to do, you idiot. Just jump on
Just
it.
go.
Yeah, yeah.
No, just,
So what continued to draw you towards directing even after that first experience?
I was really good at running crews. I realized that this was just a skill set. It was an easy, effortless skill set for me. The way that Kevin, who's my brother, does photography, and it's just so effortless for him.
Right.
This was effortless for me for the most
It
part.
clicked
I could walk in
Everything
rooms,
just
I
flowed.
could fix things in like 5-10 minutes like that. It just flowed. It worked really well for me. I was good at running a crew. I have no problem giving people the shit. But I'm also really cool, and I try to work really well with people and just, make it seem
Yeah,
not
that
like
balance.
yeah, like I mean,
For
like,
sure.
look, I want
Yeah.
us to all be cool. I want us to be a team. I want us to work together.
But
I'm
we
never
got
gonna shut
something
people
we're
down
doing.
just because you're just some random dude on set.
Yeah.
You're like, I got an idea. I'm like, who the fuck are you, PA guy? You're like, get out of my face. No, I mean, like, if you got a really good idea, I want to hear it.
Yeah,
right,
for sure.
exactly.
But at the same
That's
time,
super
I have no
cool.
problem giving people the business. Like, if you're fucking around, I'm like, look, you gotta get it together.
Yeah.
Keep it fun, keep it collaborative, but it's still a
I was
business.
gonna say, yeah, remember,
still
you're
doing
all
still a
working
job.
on
you're
something.
working,
Yeah.
This
It's still
is what
work.
we
You
do.
go to work just like you do anything as you're clocking in and clocking out, which means you got a job to do.
Exactly, man,
Yeah.
for sure. And that's a great mindset to have because at the end of the day, you can have as much fun as you want, which is what we do have fun on our sets. But also, you need to have a product at the end of the day that you can show.
Yep. I mean, and then you're gonna have bad days too, where it's just everything's gonna not really work for you, or something's gonna happen.
For
and
sure.
then like you still gotta make it to the end of that day.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't clock out and be like, oh, sorry, I'm having a personal
Oh
crisis.
yeah,
I gotta leave.
yeah. We're packing up.
Yeah. I mean, like I had that
Yeah.
that yesterday.
Mhm.
I was on lunch. They were taking lunch.
Mhm.
I had Zach with me running camera, and I had to take a phone call, and I unfortunately had a really unpleasant conversation with somebody,
Yeah.
and it really fucked up my whole day. And I was like, because I was just I couldn't just compartmentalize.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, and I mean, everybody's had an experience where like it guts you.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
And it totally gutted me. And I was like, I'm going to wear this on my face, unfortunately, and I'm just
Yeah.
going to have to live in it, but I'm still going to get through the end of the day. So I went back in there, and what I love is the fact that everybody was team oriented. So like my
Yeah.
AD did a good job at kind of like picking up in
Picking up the
spots where,
workload.
you
For
know,
sure.
where I couldn't just like mentally be
Mhm.
present, even though I'm supposed to be. But you're going to have those days. And then Zach,
Absolutely,
did
yeah.
without, I mean, like, I said, hey, can you do this thing? He's like, I got it. Don't worry.
Yeah, for
So-
sure, man.
I can really respect like the dedication to keep on.
Finish
Yeah.
the job.
I mean, look,
yeah.
I came on. It's a job.
And you did great, man. You finished out the day great.
I
We got
appreciate
done hours ahead of wrap time.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's awesome.
We
It
usually
was a
block
great
it out
day.
at 12 hours. We got done at like, what was it, 7 hours?
Yeah, it was a really nice,
I run a
fast
tight
day.
ship.
There you go.
Yeah.
I run out of time. Like,
I'm
I'm not
telling
about
you,
the
man.
shit. And
I
mean,
love getting out at 4:30. Like,
Zach looks at me. He's
Can't
like,
beat
"Do you
that.
need another camera?" And we're like, "No, we're not toucaning it anymore." We're like, "You can go." And he's like, "Oh, sweet, I'm out."
I'm out.
That was good.
you guys have a good rest of the day.
He's like, "Yeah."
Yeah, no, that was a great set, man. It's always great working with you. I'm enjoying this project.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
Thanks.
absolutely. So for your projects that you direct, where do you draw inspiration from? Like what inspires you?
So okay, weird enough, like okay, the ideology of movies is that you go for the form of escapism it gives you.
Right.
You're going to escape everyday reality.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we go and we watch Marvel. That's why we go and we go to like we were talking about Tarantino. We go to a
Right.
Hateful Eight movie or something like that.
Yeah.
You're,
Right.
you're escaping into a whole different reality that you're
Absolutely.
not familiar with. But at the same time, I do find that regular everyday life or situations really do inspire me. So I did a short called The Eulogies, where it was about a guy named Scott whose wife was a hit and run victim,
Wow.
and she died. And then he had to kind of sit with that, and he had to he was going to find the person who did this, and then he had to, when he did find it, you find him in the short on the day that I think he's kind of resigned to like figure out what he's going to do with this information,
Yeah.
and then he hunts the guy down.
Okay.
And then
Right.
they have this whole, thing. Now, that to me, everybody's like, oh, wow, it's kind of dark. It's kind of this, that. I'm like, but unfortunately, somewhere out there,
Yeah.
Scott's out there.
Yeah, no, that's a real thing.
Scott's
Absolutely.
out there, and his wife, Sarah's out there, and the guy that hit her is out there, and that's real life. That's real world.
Right.
And the character that that the one guy, Jay, played, his name is Adrian, he's very much like, unfortunately, like me, is a bit of a nihilist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, like his whole worldview is like nothing has purpose or meaning, and we're just
Mhm.
here to have an experience, and that's it. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing matters. There's no real consequence to any of this. There's no karma, no cause and effect.
Yeah.
And he has this really great moment where he actually says that, and I that's probably my favorite line, where he goes, "This isn't cosmic interwoven destiny. This isn't cause and effect. We're not karma."
Right.
He's like, "This just happened," and you just basically, what he basically is telling him is like, "It just happened. You got to suck it up."
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, I was like, when I read that and I wrote that, I'm like, shit, that's really me. That's a part of me.
It's a powerful statement. It's a powerful
When
piece
you
of
write it and
dialogue,
you
man.
realize-
And
like-
you realize that there's a piece of you that lives
Yeah.
in that space, and
Right.
you're there. And I mean, like, so it's funny is I'm very much a spiritualist, and I believe in God and all that, but not in the context of the Bible. And I'm trying to get all religious or anything. But
No, yeah,
I
you're totally good,
that's
man.
but I do very much believe in the higher power of like God and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I'm also very much like a nihilist. So a lot of people look at me and they're like, how do you reconcile this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, faith in God doesn't necessarily mean I have a faith in life or humanity or things in the world. It's
Right.
just, it's a different kind of level. And a lot of people find that very strange. And sometimes I guess I do too, to be like, I believe in God. And to believe in God means that there has to be some kind of purpose, some kind of this and that and the other.
Right.
And then I have days where I just genuinely like, I don't even know if there is a purpose.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think
I
we
think
experience this and then that's it.
I think I
Right.
can kind of understand that.
Yeah.
Kind of reconcile it, like, God created us, and it was
And it was kind
just
of like,
a
hey,
thing that
do
happened.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a thing.
Right.
And so, like, I mean, without getting too off topic, but I
Yeah.
mean, like, I look at that, I'm like, I think that's where my writing comes from, is like, I have this embedded form of nihilism that
Okay.
lives in me, that I seek out these moments. So, like, the show that I'm working on, that Zach's going to be doing some camera work for,
Yeah.
if we get to that point, right now it's been a real shit show getting it going. We'll talk about
Pre-pro's hard, man.
Yeah, dude,
I'm
it is.
telling you.
It's called Misunderstood. It's about
Yeah.
4 friends who grew up in Cleveland, and they've been knowing each other. They've known each other since they were like 10.
Okay.
And so, like, here we find them in their like early 30s, whatever, and they're kind of just going through life and navigating.
Gotcha.
So it's more of a dramedy. The idea is to like bring real world life into it, but also be like really funny. And it was my first hand at comedy. The
Okay.
first script I wrote for it was actually more comedy than anything, and I shopped it around. And everybody's like, "This is fucking hilarious."
Oh, wow.
They were
Okay.
You love that.
I had actors literally that were auditioning for it would hit me up going, "Yo, I'm on the treadmill right now, cracking up, and people think
Yeah.
I'm looking
That's
stupid
awesome.
right now."
That's
I was
awesome.
like, "This is
sick.
hilarious." And yeah, so I mean, for me, it's I mean, I very much enjoy these characters, and a lot of them are extensions of me. Some of them are amalgamations of other people too. People I know,
Yeah.
people I've been inspired by, whether it be television or otherwise. And a lot of the writing of it just does, I mean, in a way, it does come from a lot of my real life or
Yeah.
the lives of people that I know.
Okay.
So
You ever write a piece and you don't know where it came from yet, but then you like read it 3 times and you're like, shit.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait. And then you start pulling it apart and you're like, yeah. This is like a subconscious thing that I just poured into this script.
What's crazy is that like sometimes it's like a therapist pulling something out of you. Like,
Yeah,
you write it
dude.
down and then you don't realize that you wrote it, and then like you said, you reread it and you're like, where the fuck did that come from?
Right. That's so crazy,
Yeah,
man.
and
I have
mean,
similar
like,
experiences.
Is
Or
that
even-
kind of how you felt about What's Best?
100%. Yeah. No, he's like hitting every point about like how I felt writing that piece. So that's
Yeah, because I mean,
crazy.
like, you will find a piece of you in everything you write. There's no person who writes scripts that does not embed a piece of themselves in it.
Right.
Every script is an extension of whoever wrote it or whoever the people that wrote it. So I mean, and for me, Misunderstood will very much be an extension of me. I mean, I have like I'm writing episode 5 right now.
How many episodes are you hoping?
I'm trying to get to 10.
Nice.
So it's gonna be a
Okay,
full
cool.
season.
Awesome.
And me and a really good friend of mine named Roman Mascheroni. You know Roman.
Yeah.
Yep. He came on board to help write too. He's super talented dude. I mean, like I can't have had. I mean, I got so lucky finding this amazing writer to write with. I couldn't have been luckier.
That's awesome.
And he became just a
that's
really
my
good
boy
friend of
right
mine.
here. Yeah.
And he became this really good friend of mine. He's like the little brother I never had. And I mean, we put these characters together, and then like I said, episode 5 I started writing on my own because it's going to be an episode. It's going to come from my own personal life,
Pretty
from my
personal.
own personal experience.
Mhm.
So I started sitting down and writing it earlier, and it was just really fucking me up because I'm like, I got to be in a really good headspace for this
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
But I
so,
was like-
and that script's kind of putting you.
But that script was taking me somewhere
Yeah.
that just was very recent.
Yeah.
So the wound is still very
Fresh.
fresh.
Yeah.
I mean, you could still smell the blood.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I was like, but I gotta, if I don't do it now, I won't do it till later, and then I will lose bits and pieces of detail, and then
Right.
I
It
feel
won't
like
be
it'll-
the full.
It won't be the same thing. So
Yeah.
if I don't do it now, even though I don't want to do it, I have to do it.
Yeah.
You have to kind of catch that visceral feeling.
You really
while
do.
still
Exactly.
have it.
I think people, I mean, and I've had this conversation before. People are like, oh, you know, there's this ideology that artists have to be sad to write. I'm like, or they have to be depressed
Yeah.
to make art. I hate to admit it, but I kind of almost agree with it only because, like, here's the thing: when Van Gogh was making some of the most beautiful work,
Right.
was he like high on uppers? No, he was
Yeah,
miserable.
right.
He was a miserable fucking dude.
Cutting
he
his
was
ear
depressed. He
off
was sad. He was losing his mind.
Yeah.
And from that came all this, you know, amazing like creativity.
Oh, for sure.
You know, and
Yeah.
this beautiful art. So for me, I look at it and I'm like, well, you could write when you're happy. Like,
Yeah.
episode 1 of that script was actually just a really funny experience that happened to me, and I used it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it
gotcha.
also was the catalyst. The catalyst of that script
Of
was
it
a breakup.
darkening. Yeah.
Was a
Mm.
you know, so it was a
Yeah.
breakup that led into a funny moment. Now this one, it's kind of, you know, like kind of the same in a way. And I
Mhm.
mean, you have these wounds, and I mean, like, if you're not going to use them for something as an artist, then I guess
Right.
to me they go wasted. And I think a lot of people maybe haven't reconciled that yet, but to me, like, if I've got a wound, and I mean, this is what I do. I make art.
Yeah.
I'm gonna open it up, and I'm gonna use that.
Yeah. Use
know,
your
that blood for ink.
experiences. Yeah.
Right.
And I'm gonna paint a picture. I'm gonna write a, you know, I'm gonna paint you a picture with words.
For sure.
And so for me, like, it sucks because I mean, like, I don't want to necessarily go back in time to a place that this is gonna take me, but I
Yeah.
have to do it because
Mhm.
Joey's character, because you have 4 characters. You have Fuller, you have Jay. Well, Richie, his last name is Fuller. They call him Fuller.
Gotcha.
You have Jay, you have Lynn, and you have Joey. And Joey's basically me.
Gotcha.
Joey is like 25-year-old and 35-year-old me meshed together.
Okay.
He's all
The
rage, he's all
blend.
sorrow, he's
Yeah.
all sarcasm, he's all twisted, torn up, broken. But he's super funny. He's very loyal to his friends. But he goes through a lot of bad experiences. His life is not exactly a Disney, you know, story.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It rarely is.
no. And so I took what happened to me and I was like, well, if there's anybody that's going to be able to manifest this properly and then give it the right story and give it the right life that it needs, if I'm really going to do this, is going to be Joey's character, and it's going to be in my show.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to write this for anybody else's character. I'm going to write this for my character. Basically.
Yeah.
This is
And-
something personal to
Yeah.
you, and it's like we said, it can be therapeutic, even
It can be.
using this character as an outlet, kind of in some ways.
And I mean, like, I don't know how it's going to make people feel when they read it, or rather when they watch it. It's going to be pretty. It's going to be some shit.
yeah, but I mean,
like,
how
it's-
do you feel
hell
writing
yeah.
it though, man? I mean, it's your piece, you know.
It's hard. Okay, so
I know
I went home yesterday. I mean, like, all right, once again, let's get real. I went home
Yeah.
yesterday after the shoot, Everybody's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go home." And that was literally because I was mentally just checked out.
Yeah.
I go home, I fished half a bottle of whiskey that was unfinished out of the bottom of my couch.
Yeah.
And I went into my bathroom, I sat in my tub, and I opened it, and I just drank the rest of it.
Damn.
And I just cried. I just cried for the rest of the night. I spent 2 hours crying.
Dude, you gotta let it out, bro.
And a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's kind of weird." You know,
No,
like,
I don't
no.
think so.
But I mean, like,
No.
here's the thing: like, I was devastated,
Right.
and I just sat in my, I sat in my tub, and I just cried, in my clothes, in the tub, totally drunk. And I thought to myself, like, I'm gonna write this.
This is something that
This is my moment where I was like, I'm actually gonna like, because I was thinking about it, because
Right.
my brother likes to joke, like, when shit happens to me, I'm like, I pull a Taylor Swift, and I
Yeah.
write about
Taylor
it.
Swift.
Yeah.
He's like, you're just gonna pull a Swiftie and you're gonna write about it, and then that's it. I'm like, I am probably gonna do that.
I mean, yeah, literally, we just watched like
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. He never saw like it all the way through. Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story, and just like all the the different times when he just says a line and he's just like, wait a second, I can turn a song out of this situation.
Yep.
I'm just like, that's like the parody of that.
And so like, and I would, like I said, like, I mean, it was probably not the right time to be thinking of like all the things I was gonna do, but
hey, it comes to you, man.
I was
Yeah.
literally, I sat in that tub until I was pretty much like fresh out of booze, and I was like, I'm gonna start working on this.
Right.
And a lot of the people involved, they probably need a break from everything because they were kind of like, it was intense. Everybody was
Yeah.
in the middle of it. So I decided that because I have time to finish a script that I'm working on for a bigger project,
Right.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to take like a mini mental vacation where I'm not going to work on anything else except probably this script
Yeah.
until it's finished.
Right.
And then when that's finished, then my break will be finished. So if that takes me a week, it's a week. Takes
Yeah.
me 2 weeks, it takes me 2 weeks.
For sure.
And that's going to be like the end of it. And from there, I'll just, that's it. So
Yeah.
Let the creative process flow.
yeah, it's gotta run. I mean, like I said, when the episode does air, when we finally do shoot it, I don't know how people are gonna feel because they're gonna look at this like, did this really happen? And I'm like,
Dude.
and I'm gonna be like, well, I mean,
Yeah.
did it? I don't.
Let
I
me
mean,
tell you, brother, I've seen movies with far worse, dude.
I mean,
There's some crazy shit out there, man.
it's wild. I mean,
That's a really nice, visceral moment. It's human.
It's
It's
powerful,
raw.
yeah.
It's real.
I think people are gonna watch that episode and they're gonna be like, holy shit.
I was gonna say, yeah, you were like, oh, people might see it and think like, oh, that's weird or
I
something.
think
I
people
think
could
that's
relate.
I was gonna say, I think that happens more, like maybe not that exact situation, but maybe they're not crawling into a bathtub and drinking a bottle of whiskey, but
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people go, it's kind of over dramatic. I'm like, when you are literally falling apart,
you
no,
you
man,
make sense
yeah.
out of shit that won't make sense. I walked in the door and all I could think of is like, I don't want to sit on the couch.
Yep.
I don't want to lay on the bed.
Yep.
I don't want to lay on the floor.
Right.
And in my head,
Then
sitting in
only-
the bathtub made sense.
Yep.
And I did. I got in the bathtub. I sat back. I got nice and comfy. I twisted the bottle top and I just kept going.
I mean, that makes sense.
Right.
And that to me in that moment made more sense than anything else I could do.
I can understand that.
And that was the only way that I was able to cope with it.
Dude, the way you said how you wrote your first script, there's always a Scott out there. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? There's always somebody out there that's gonna relate. And
There's
I
always-
totally
yeah.
feel it too, man. Like,
There's always, I mean, whatever character you're writing, somebody out there is already that person.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, you may not think it, or you may think that it's you, and maybe it is you, but there's also somebody else out there that is experiencing it.
yeah.
So my version of Joey is not uncommon. I'm sure he's out there in many
Yeah,
different forms.
for
I'm out there
sure.
in many different forms.
Right.
But what happened that night in this whole episode, because it breaks down like a whole series of events,
Right.
will kind of be unique to me.
Yeah.
I don't think
absolutely.
anybody else is going to have the same, like I did exactly that thing.
Yeah.
And that's,
Right.
yeah.
I'm excited, dude.
Dude, I'm excited to shoot it. It's been hard to get off the ground. And
I'll be there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you're selling me on it. I'm getting
We
pretty
talked about it.
excited.
Yeah.
It's a good show. Like I said, it's I've been really wanting to do it. I started the idea back in October actually. So this is a really great moment for us to talk about
Yeah.
what it really means, like all the LA ass wipes and all that'll tell you like, oh, we got one after another coming out.
Yeah.
That sometimes it doesn't work like that. And in a small scene, you will have productions that go on halts or they'll stop and they'll start or whatever
Yeah.
for no reason or because they just can't get off the ground as easy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I started this very first script in October, tried to get it off the ground around like November, December, didn't work. Tried to get it back off the ground in February, March, didn't happen.
Right.
And then we tried shooting in June, and those dates fell through because some of the people that were on the cast were the original cast. They were now under contracts for something else.
Damn.
So it was
So much
constant.
can happen.
So then
yeah.
I had that same moment. Is this a never gonna happen, or is this a not
gonna
happening
happen
now?
now.
And so I was like, okay, maybe this is the universe telling me I need to sideline this for a little bit. I'm still gonna work on the episodes
Right.
as far as the scripts, but I will work on other things that will hopefully put me in rooms with people with connections, resources,
There you
money,
go.
and then I'll come back to it like, hey, I've got this thing.
Yeah.
So it's not so much never gonna happen. It's not gonna happen right now, and then it'll come back around.
Most definitely.
And that's
I
yeah.
like,
we
I
talked
like
about that.
I like that mindset
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
For sure, man. Yeah, I mean, I know you guys tried to do a funding campaign. As
Yep.
soon as you get another one up, man, yeah, we're sharing that
Oh,
shit
dude,
up.
it was
We'll
hard.
plug that shit. Keep people's eyes on that for sure, man.
Yeah, dude, I'm really excited about getting it. Like what was it for? Technically, this is 4th time's a charm.
Yeah.
like,
You got it. I'm telling
But I
you,
mean,
bro,
I
yeah.
don't think I'm gonna stop because I really love these characters. I love the
Yeah.
project. I really enjoy the people that are working it as far as the cast wise and some of the crew that are working on it. Like I'm very excited to work with these people. So
Right.
for me, it's more like I just can't quit this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like I'm determined to make it happen somewhere.
For sure, man.
Okay.
And I love that because, I mean, you have to have that determination in these small scenes. You know what I
Yep.
mean? You got to keep.
Just don't give up.
You got to take the shit you get, and you got to run through it.
You believe it. Oh yeah. Hold on to that feeling.
All right. Oh shit! No, God. Journey's coming.
Journey's coming
Journey's
for us.
coming. Fuck.
Please
You
make
just
it
hear
stop.
this song
The
like
whole
slowly
court case
get
is gonna be a journey
closer.
at that point. No.
All right, so I'm curious, man.
I'm curious too.
Who were some of your favorite directors?
Bro. Okay, I have 2 main directors that have always really inspired me, and that's Ridley Scott and Tarantino.
Yes.
Tarantino is the goat of dialogue. I mean,
Dude.
like I just want to eat that man's brain and absorb his power.
Yeah.
I really do. I just want to peel his nugget open and just like devour that thing. Because I mean, like the man he's gifted. I mean, like you look at some of the scenes that he'll do that just look really stupid, and I'm
Yeah.
like, but you got to understand the brilliance of this moment.
Right.
Like what was it, the Harvey Keitel in the beginning where he's like Tommy Wong, Tommy Chan, and then like he goes to these whole list
Yeah.
of names at the end. He's like Tommy fucking Chan, and then he's like, and then he just and that's the end of that whole thing. It's literally like a minute. You remember that? It's like a minute of him just going through all these random names, but you see the look on his face and how Tarantino makes you live in this space with this man for a
Yeah.
moment.
Right.
And I'm like, bro, that's fucking brilliant.
Dude,
I was like,
yeah.
this is brilliant. And then Ridley Scott, I love the fact that he's just a brilliant narrator of story. Like he can push a story
Right.
in a way that a lot of people can't. And the way he tells stories is really beautiful. So I mean, like Gladiator has always been like one of my favorite films. Even though if you really watch it and you look at some of the bad editing in there,
Yeah.
it'll like gut you like a fish. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, but I try
It
to.
holds a special place in your hearts.
Yeah.
We get sentimental. We
Yeah.
can't
Ridley,
help
I
it.
love you, but your editor was just he killed you. On, like I'm
Somebody else for this one, bub.
Yeah, sorry, man. You
Probably
gotta
don't use him again.
I might know some people for you next time. So
Hit me up, Ridley.
just holler at me.
Right.
No, but I mean, like his ability, like you look at Gladiator, you look at the story from start to finish, and I'm like, that's Ridley pushing that whole narrative.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, that's brilliant. Like it's a brilliant film.
Yeah.
So good. It's so well done. It's so well put together. Like I said, minus some of the editing.
Yeah.
But I mean, like everything about it just was like at the end of it, it just made you feel this amazing raw thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
And I was like, okay.
I still.
I fuck with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alien sticks with me.
Alien, yeah.
Not Alien 18. You know, like the original Alien.
Alien 25.
Yeah. Right.
Aren't they coming out? No, that's Predator.
Prey.
They're coming out
Oh,
with
Prey.
Is it Prey?
Predator 39. Oh,
Yeah.
Prey.
Prey.
Yeah,
I
okay.
saw
Come
that
on
and I'm like,
now.
really? Like, you guys are really gonna keep doing this?
Yep,
After the
we
last
are,
one,
man.
is that like all right?
For sure we are, actually.
Yeah.
Does Tarantino or Ridley sit higher
Oh,
on the throne
okay.
for you?
He's
I-
doing it to you. He's
I'm
making
doing it
he's
to you.
making you
Ah,
put him
he
on
is, okay.
pedestals.
I love you, Ridley, man. I do. I do. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I think it's gonna go to Tarantino only because Tarantino's a double threat.
Yeah.
Like his ability to create this amazing dialogue in these moments, and
Yep.
then the way he directs, it tells a story unlike anybody else tells a story.
Right.
So, like for me, I think Tarantino's kind of up top. I mean, I hate to do it.
I feel it, man.
But
I have
Tarantino
a
is-
lot of
is a
Tarantino
really,
love.
really good director.
Cut out all the weird feet stuff, and then you got.
My mind just always flashes to like the one behind the scenes shot from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood
Fuck
where
off.
he's like on the camera, like
Have
right.
you seen that?
No,
Dude,
Oh, dude.
I gotta find it now. Hold on.
dude, he's definitely got a fetish, man. I mean,
He's
there's
got
no-
a foot thing.
You can't tell me he does it because I mean, it's everywhere in every film.
Every movie. No, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood might have been the biggest,
Oh yeah,
most screen time for feet, I think.
yeah. It was Margot Robbie. Then was it the other girl? That it was, yeah. And I was like,
He's like, it's the 70s. No one wears shoes. Let's shut up.
I
Take
was
your
like-
shoes off.
I was like,
I hate it so much, dude. I do love Tarantino, though. You know,
no, he's brilliant.
he's a
man.
fucking, like, Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs is crazy.
Jesus.
He looks like he's about to start
Christ.
licking them lips,
Dude,
man.
it's
Jesus
insane.
Christ.
Yeah, dude, he's a wild man. But I mean,
Just got that.
I guess when you have like an IQ of like 160 and every film you've made is almost a
Right.
banger, like I guess at that point you can have a right to whatever like foot fetish you want.
Yeah, I guess so, man. Yeah.
I mean, the dude, but I mean, here's the thing, like, and what I respect the most about him is like Quentin is very much the idea of like quantity or not quality. It's quality over quantity.
right.
Yeah, he's not pumping out.
No, he's not like
films.
I'm not doing 300 films
Yeah.
and then like 5 of them going to be bangers.
Right.
He's like I'm going to do 10 films
and they're all
And they're
gonna.
all gonna
They
be
all
bangers.
fucking hit. Yeah.
And
no,
I was
for
like,
sure,
dude,
man.
that's what's up, man. I mean, like, when you could really hone in and be like, I don't want to go out and do every fucking project that comes my way,
Yeah.
or every this,
Yeah.
that, and the other. I'm gonna take 10 really good stories, and I'm gonna leave some shit that nobody's gonna be able to top.
Wow.
And I was like, all right, I see you, man. And
see
so,
you.
and he did. I mean, like,
Yeah.
like Reservoir Dogs. I mean, like, you know,
Fuck,
like
dude.
Pulp Fiction. I mean,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Kill Bill. The whole. I mean, like, everything that he's done so far has just been really brilliant.
Reservoir
Django
Dogs.
Unchained was my
Django.
first.
Was
like,
that your first?
That was like the first Tarantino film that I like remember seeing. Like once my brain actually like formed cohesive memories.
Yeah.
And I loved Django, man. Just how he like does the Western style.
Oh
and-
yeah. He's a huge Western. You
Yeah,
know,
you can tell.
the homage he puts it in
like
all
yeah,
of his movies.
the homage to the
I mean, even
spaghetti
in Kill
westerns.
Bill, it's got like that Western-y vibe.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like the whole
For
church
sure.
scene.
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
like, well, we might as well call that the Red Wedding, right? I mean,
Yeah.
even though
Yeah.
Game of Thrones got that, yeah, or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
It's dope. I know, right?
I mean, well, he's got a huge love for for Japan and
Yeah.
Japanese culture, and then like he has this love of Western, so he kind of like you see him meshing the two.
right,
Yeah.
right.
And I'm like, all right, man. But see, like that is also just crazy unique. He doesn't do. I mean, nobody else
Mhm.
does that the way he does that.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Kill Bill soundtrack. Oh yeah, dude, all of his soundtracks hit, man.
It's
Honestly,
true.
he goes hard. He does good.
Some extra about the part that went.
Oh yeah, this is for the score.
Django.
Wah, 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 wah.
No, he's. I mean,
Favorite film?
favorite
Tarantino?
film of Tarantino's. It's either between Kill Bill or I really do love Reservoir Dogs though.
Dude, I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
I mean, like that scene where what was it? Michael Madsen takes the dude's ear and he's like yelling and he's dancing. I was
Yeah.
like,
In the middle with you.
I was like, dude, like who thinks of this? I was like, that's
Cuts his fucking ear
yeah.
off.
It cuts his ear off. He's like, can you hear me? And I'm like,
Oh my god, he's played such a perfect psycho in that movie, like
no,
a
It was-
chill psycho. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
And it was crazy. I
love
was
that
like, dude, this
character.
is so crazy good. And I was like, all
Yeah.
right. So I mean, like, I think for me, it's definitely Reservoir Dogs. I love Kill Bill. I love everything
yeah.
about like how he
Like, I
meshed
think I
those.
gotta agree with you. Reservoir Dogs. I think is my
Reservoir
Reservoir
favorite.
Dogs.
It
Res-
just the very first time I saw it, it left this crazy impression on me,
Same, dude.
and I was like, "This is crazy."
It told me that you can tell a story in a fucking warehouse. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
mean,
they,
like
they
a
have the
barren
flashback
warehouse,
scenes, but
man.
like mostly the shit's happening in one spot.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know, man. Like I watch that movie every year at least. Like I have to. It's
Well, I
like
mean-
one of those yearly revisits. I
Yeah.
fucking love Reservoir Dogs.
Well, I mean, even let's look at Pulp Fiction for a minute. Okay, like he literally has you sitting in a room for like 10 minutes talking about a Royale with cheese, and then having
Oh
a
my
dude say
God.
what.
What?
and it's one of the
What?
best.
It is one of the best scenes
ever,
ever
dude.
made. It's crazy good. I'm like, I watch it. I'm like, the tension and the suspense in that, and the humor, like the raw humor in it,
I know,
It's
is. I was like, it's funny because you want to laugh, but you know somebody's about to get shot.
yeah,
Right.
It's
'Cause
like
you're
that.
like-
It's that like nervous
You're
laughter.
like,
Like Samuel Jackson is like terrifying, and he's like,
say what again?
my favorite like picture that exists is him sipping from his fucking cup. like he just starts eating this motherfucker's food.
He's like, what's a
And
tasty
you know he's
burger?
gonna shoot his
And
ass,
I was
dude.
like, dude, I was like,
That's a tasty burger. Oh my god, I fucking love
like I
it.
said, everything, the humor in that, the suspense, the raw tension. I was like,
Yeah.
everything about this was like, you couldn't have made a more brilliant scene.
Straight up, man.
I was like, he had to have known when he yelled cut, like he had something really special at that moment.
Right.
You have to look at that, look at the actors that are in that moment, and then be like, this is really special.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
The scene in Pulp Fiction where Uma Thurman overdoses,
Oh yeah,
it
Oh,
absolutely like fucked me up when I watched it the
Yeah.
first time.
Dude, yeah, it's a lot.
yeah. It was wasn't it
crazy.
Tim? Who was the guy, the drug dealer? Was it Tim Roth?
Yeah, no.
It wasn't.
I can't remember who that
I
is.
can't remember the guy, but I know he was in the
I
movie,
think,
right?
yeah, I'm pretty sure it
Tim
was Tim
Roth is in the beginning. He's holding the
Yeah,
diner
he's
up.
the hold-up guy.
Honey
Okay,
Bunny,
yeah.
Whoever the dude was, but like the way he was brilliant. He did a really good job, and like
Yeah.
hits that,
Oh yeah.
dude.
He's like, I'm not fucking doing it. Get her the fuck out of here.
Oh, my
Crazy
God.
scene,
the way
man.
she shot up, I was like, see,
Yeah.
like, and like I said, I mean, Tarantino will make you live in these weird
Yeah.
fucking spaces,
Right.
and it's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, where
the
do you get the
scene with,
idea to
like,
make somebody live in this
yeah.
moment?
Yeah.
They're just having coffee, talking about how great the coffee is while there's like a dead man in the car.
Yeah. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Dude,
Yeah.
he's a wild man, but I love him, and I'm really looking forward to his last film. Although it's going to be a really bittersweet moment because
Yeah.
Right.
he's retiring. I mean, after
Mhm.
he made it clear, he's like, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah.
Like 10 films. That's, I mean, for me, it's the same way how I feel about Miyazaki, because I'm a big anime nerd too. Miyazaki's making
Ooh.
one last film
Yeah.
for his grandson,
Oh, okay.
and nobody knows what it is. He's also been really hush about it.
Wow.
But I mean, the man's like 90,000 years old though, so I mean, I'm worried. I'm
Yeah.
like, please don't die
Right.
while you're in the middle of doing this.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to see it because Miyazaki is a genius. The way
Absolutely.
he tells story too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In his own world, the way first off, the worlds he creates are brilliant. Second of all, the way he tells the story is also brilliant. So I mean, like he's just in his own right, he's a genius.
Yeah.
So when I saw that he was like, I'm doing one more film, it's for my grandson. I'm like 85, I'm gonna die.
Right.
I'm like, man, like 85. And then you think about that, like, yeah, I mean, like
Like, yeah, time's running out.
time's
Right.
running out. And I mean, that's it. And then there will be no more Miyazaki.
Right.
And that kind of bums me out, but I understand that,
Which
like,
you really gotta like respect.
Yeah.
They're
his,
like,
his career is like he's been around for like 30 years
Yeah.
making some of the most
So many.
iconic animes.
oh,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, his stories are amazing. I mean, like Princess Mononoke.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
Everybody loves Howl's Moving Castle.
I love
like,
House. I do. I fuck with it.
Yeah.
What's the Spirited Away?
Spirited Away.
Yeah.
I mean, Spirited Away is really
Did
great.
My
It's always
Neighbor
a favorite.
Totoro as well?
Yeah,
Yep.
I think you did.
It's like non-conventional storytelling in such a.
Ponyo.
It's like such
Yeah,
a
yeah.
unique way to tell a story. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like
Like we talk about how people have like their own unique ways
Yeah.
of you see something, you're like, okay, this is
I mean, this is like D&D
Right.
level 1000, where like you're
Mhm.
literally building a whole world, not just like with your words, but like on paper.
yeah.
why does he make the most like delicious looking food in his
Oh
movies?
God.
You know what I'm
They
saying?
talk about that all the time. They're like that man is notorious for making some of the greatest looking anime food ever.
Dude, straight up.
Like in
cute as fuck.
Yeah,
Dude,
you're
and
like,
Spirited
damn,
Away,
I
where they're
might eat
eating,
you.
and then I'm like,
damn.
what are you doing to me, man?
Like I'm trying to watch this movie.
trying to watch this movie. Now I'm gonna go make food.
Yeah, now I'm
Yeah,
hitting the kitchen,
pause
bro.
it.
Will not look like
No. Like he's like, I mean, I'm pretty sure there are people in Japan that are mad that his ramen looks better than their ramen.
Yeah, no,
Right,
I'm
right.
sure.
They're like, we make this shit for a living and it looks better than mine.
This is real.
This is real shit. I mean, but he's really gifted, and like I said, like it's gonna be a very sad moment when he does pass. But he has left a legacy of amazing film behind.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's really
I mean,
nice
he's-
to be able to put an end cap on.
Yeah,
it.
I mean, look, he has expanded so many people's imaginations, so many people's minds. I mean, like he has made people's childhoods with his films,
Right.
and so I mean, like that's an incredible legacy to leave behind, no matter what.
Most
Most
definitely,
definitely, man.
Yeah,
So I want to talk. Got a couple more questions for you.
sure.
What do you have coming up that you can talk about, Mr. Director?
Okay, so a couple I did sign NDAs for, and I can't talk, which sucks.
Ooh.
Rip
Um,
that shit up.
I was like, oh, I can't do it. I was like, but I want to, but I can't.
Couple things kind of in the works.
I even talked to the guy who I'm working with. I'm like, yo, can I talk about this? He's like, no. And I'm like,
you keep that pretty mouth shut, boy.
I was like, all right, that's cool. Can I at least talk about?
No.
So he's like, no. And I'm like,
Absolutely.
all right, cool.
not.
Thanks. Good talk, man. So
I'm excited for both of those.
Right.
Yeah, he's like, all right. Well, I mean, I'm sold. I can't wait for those to come out whenever they come out.
Right.
No, but there's a film we're doing. So I have a handful of projects. I'm a very busy man lately. So I have Misunderstood, which we are trying to do the very first episode sometime soon. We're trying to get that crowdfunded.
Gotcha.
So we can get episode 1 done.
Yeah.
And then if it does really well, we're going to try to pitch it and then try to get the rest of the season done.
Beautiful way to do it, man.
Yeah. That way everybody has proof of concept, whatever. I did a really cool little episode 0. It's like a mini episode.
Nice.
I'm going to put that up with the Indiegogo.
Oh,
And
perfect.
You see the original cast. I didn't recast anybody, and they did an amazing job. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Then I have a movie called The Journal, which we're shooting in April.
Nice.
There's some actually decent, like, big people attached to that one. Names I don't know if I can or cannot drop. But
Totally okay.
Yeah, I was like, I was like, he didn't say if I could or couldn't.
Yeah.
But, okay, so it's about, but it is.
Err on the side of caution.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I mean, like, but let's just say there's a couple B-list actors in there.
That's awesome,
super
man.
dope. Actually.
There's some, yes, and then some local cats that are actually coming up in their own right. They're almost like right up there with that. And they were like, okay, do you want to direct it? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, we need a script. I was like, well, I guess I'm writing it then too.
There you go.
So I am writing it with Roman.
Nice.
And we're working on that. And then, like I said, that'll shoot in April or May.
That's exciting.
That is exciting. I'm really excited about that because like that's a feature and that's gonna be
Oh, beautiful.
big
Yeah.
names.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Big shit. I mean, like it's gonna be like where I pull on my big boy pants and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm trying to act like a real director.
Yeah,
Yeah.
strap in, baby. Let's go. That's
I am
sick.
currently helping a young lady film her film, which is what me and you were working on.
Yeah.
I don't know when that's going to be done. I know we are like halfway through now. Like
Yeah.
yesterday when we
Okay.
wrapped, we are like over the 50% mark.
Kicking
Nice.
ass, too, man.
It's 21 pages.
Yeah.
Damn.
21 pages in 7 hours.
Dude, yeah, that was sick.
I am a beast. I'm sorry.
Let's
like I'm not trying to
go.
blow
No,
smoke on my
no.
own.
No,
Like,
no. It was
I
a
mean,
fantastic
thank you.
work day.
That was
Gas
cool.
yourself up.
I was like, yeah, we are getting this done, and I'm not staying here till 8 o'clock. I will jump out the fucking window. I was
For
like,
sure.
I was like, we are
Hire
getting
this
done.
man. You need a
Um,
director.
Let's see. So there's that. Roman and I are going to be working on a horror film. We're going to be writing the script called Skin Deep. That's
Ooh.
yeah, dude. Everybody loves a
Ooh.
good horror film. Everybody.
Oh, yeah,
And we're going to try to
absolutely.
get some big names with that too, because at that point, I will hopefully have some connections to pitch this
Yeah.
to and be like, oh, we love it. And some of the people I'm working on for the journal, because it's kind of a thriller horror,
Yeah.
will probably also be equally interested in it. So I'm
Cool,
hoping to
man.
get them on that too.
Yeah.
And then
Those
Roman-
connections, dude.
dude.
Oh, yeah. 626 Sound.
Oh, you need a sound guy?
I mean, I'm going to keep you in mind, bro. I got you. You have your people call my people.
My people are here.
It's like, all my people are here. Shit.
He's like, these are the people. I'm my own person, so it's cool. I'm like, drunk me will call sober you, and then that'll be
There
a
it
different
is,
conversation
yeah.
too. Yeah, no, and then I have Roman and I are also working on his series called Infidelities Inc. So
Gotcha.
I am a stupid, crazy, busy person right now.
It's a good kind of stupid crazy
It's
busy.
super crazy because when it rains, it pours.
Right.
And it's how it goes. Like you're either in a drought
yeah.
and you're just like losing your mind because your hands up your ass and you have nothing to do,
Mhm.
Right.
or you are so busy you don't have time to sit down and take a shit, and like you just got to keep going.
Yeah, for
And
sure. man.
so like for me, the goal is to hopefully do these to where like it'll elevate me to the next level of my career because I'm still early in my career
Yeah.
where I can do this for a living and stop working some shit ass 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
For
Which
sure,
is the goal
man.
for everybody. I think everybody here can
Oh,
agree that like
Absolutely.
that's the dream. We want to wake up and do this for a living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and if you already are, that's great. Kudos to you. I mean, I'm still getting there though.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah,
for
no,
anybody
definitely.
that's not, I mean, hey, you keep grinding.
For sure, man. Yeah.
We respect the grind here.
Respect the grind.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got one more question that we're gonna save for last. First, we have a fun new segment that we're gonna do. All right,
Special news segment.
let's go. We have a director. We have a director here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so these fine gentlemen here gave me 3 scripts to choose from. We are going to be reading dialogue from one of the 3, and they gave me 3 options. It was it Tarantino's
It was Kill Bill final scene.
Kill Bill final scene,
The club scene with Trinity and Neo.
club scene, Trinity and Neo and Matrix.
And
Oh, and the one I decided to choose was a scene from Twilight with Edward and Bella because
where Bella finds out he's
She finds out he's
Oh,
a vampire,
Jesus
and this is going to
Christ.
be insanely fun because like I've never watched any of these movies, nor do I intend to. But
Just direct us.
yeah, I'm gonna try to direct you guys. Okay, so who wants to be Bella? This is gonna be. You want to rock paper scissors for it? Is that? I mean, I think that's
There you
fair.
go, one and done. Yeah.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Are we? I was gonna say
Shoot.
go on shoot. Okay.
Yep.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh.
So I'm Bella.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right.
So, Bella, you're gonna sound like you literally have been stoned since you're like 3 years old, and you have no idea what the world
I
really
can do
is. And Edward, you're gonna sound like a pine cone is up your ass, but yet you're in heat.
Oh, okay.
Because that guy just like he's got this whole like smoldering. I'm quiet, but I'm in pain. I'm tortured because I'm a vampire kind of thing.
Jesus Christ.
I've seen clips of this and it's disgustingly bad.
Yeah.
I was
Alright.
like, I was
Do
like,
we want to watch the clip first?
do we want to watch
Do
the clip
we?
first?
And I can just edit it.
Oh man, do you guys want to watch
We
it?
can watch.
I mean, I'm gonna spoon my eyeballs out after it, but I'm like,
that's
I will
I'm-
watch
I'm-
it for context.
Yeah.
Dude, do it. Yeah, let me, I'm going to take a quick piss break, too.
Here we go.
Fuck off. All right, where do we start?
All right, so I think the good thing is let's just start with the beginning actually, right in the right
So you just start with you doing the impossibly fast.
yeah, you're impossibly fast. All right, so
All right, yeah, so you got to give us our direction. You got to set this up for us, man.
okay, so you're in the woods and you're in love with this guy who looks like he's 35, but he's
Super hot.
but he's and you're 17 or 16 or whatever.
That's hot.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You don't know what to do because you have no idea what is life because you sound perpetually stoned. So I mean, and you're just really confused about everything, and you
Okay.
don't make eye contact because that's just weird to you.
Okay.
Okay.
That's literally me, so. All right, let's do it.
Perfect.
And then Edward over there, you're a 35-year-old man, talking to a 17-year-old girl. There's so many problems with this.
17, of course.
17.
Yeah, and
Jesus.
I've been 17 a while.
So actually, Twilight's about grooming?
yeah, Twilight's pretty much.
No,
about-
literally.
Fuck, dude.
Literally.
I mean, now we get it.
Is that
Now-
why does everybody like it so much? It's fucked up.
Okay, yeah, and so you're in the woods and you're about to have this big moment because you finally understand what he is, and he's gonna tell you because I mean, you're having this deep love, the sensuality, this whole darkly, vampire romance. Oh my god!
I like emo boys.
I'm shimmering in the darkness.
All right, and we're gonna start off with Bella because she's got the first line. So at the top of the page, you're gonna take it off from the top, and I'm just gonna say action. All right, and I just want you guys to live in this moment, in the woods, in the clouds, in the dark, in love, not sure what to do.
Scene 19, take one.
Now hold up. Are we just doing this page? You got
No, that's the whole
fat
scene, dude.
pages here,
That's pretty much
bro.
like 3 pages, but we could just do the first page because I mean, do we have it? Do we even have time for all of this? Probably not.
We got time for whatever.
Well, let's see how the first page
Let's
gets.
see how the
first
Maybe
page
if we
goes.
get really into character,
Yeah.
If I start to feel my role here.
If you start to feel like a 17-year-old girl, we'll have to talk about that. We'll have to really unpack that for a moment because I don't know what to do.
Time for
I
a
got
therapy.
I got a phone number to give you after the podcast.
All right,
Alright.
and action.
You're impossibly fast and strong. Your skin is pale white and ice cold. Your eyes change color, and sometimes you speak like like you're from a different time. You never eat or drink anything. You don't go out in the sunlight. How old are you?
17.
How long have you been 17?
A while.
Jesus Christ. I know what you are.
Say it.
I can't do it, dude.
out loud. Say it.
Vampire.
Bella turns to face Edward.
Are you afraid?
No.
Then ask me the most basic question. What do we eat?
You won't hurt me.
Edward grabs Bella's arm, leading her up the hill.
Where are we going?
Up the mountain, out of the cloud bank. You need to see what I look like in the sunlight.
Edward throws Bella on his back and he runs up the
Oh,
hill.
throw me on your back, Daddy.
He drops Bella. He literally just drops her, I guess. He drops Bella and walks
My
towards the
fucking
sunlight.
leg.
This is why we don't show ourselves in the sunlight.
Unbuttoned shirt. Oh, man.
Oh my god.
And walks into the sunlight.
People would know we're different.
It's like the
Edward
whimper.
turns around to face Bella. His skin sparkles.
This is what I am.
It's like diamonds. You're beautiful.
Beautiful?
Shows a look of disgust.
This is the skin of a killer, Bella.
Walks around the trees and rocks.
I'm a killer.
I don't believe that.
Because you believe the lie. Camouflage. I'm the world's most dangerous predator.
You sound like a Rick and Morty character at this point.
Everything about me. Everything about me invites you in.
Oh my god. What? Okay.
If we get to the third page, that's going to be an act of God. I don't
My
know.
voice, my face, even my smell. As if I would need any of that.
Jumps to a higher place.
As if you could outrun me.
Darts so fast around the area before jumping back
I'm
to stand
fast
near
as
Bella.
fuck, boy. As if you could fight me off.
Throws a tree branch.
Did he try to throw a tree branch
No,
at her?
he doesn't try. He doesn't try. He does.
I watched the whole scene.
Like,
I'm designed to kill.
Where the fuck is this come from? Is it a love movie?
Bella impaled by tree branch. I don't care.
I've killed people before.
It doesn't matter.
I wanted to kill you. I've never wanted a human's blood so much in my life.
I trust you.
Don't.
I'm here. I trust you.
tries to kiss Edward, but Edward darts around again.
I'm fast as
While in a tree.
Dude, the while in a tree is perfect. My family, we're different from others of your kind. We only herd animals. Sorry, from others of our kind. We learn to control our thirst.
Robert Pattinson on set be like,
He
sorry.
literally just drops. But it's you. Your scent. It's like a drug to me. You're like my own personal brand of heroin.
Oh my
Darts to another
god.
tree.
He's just jumping the fuck around talking about heroin and
I mean,
shit.
he's on a crack attack or something, man. He's hyped up.
I'm Jones and perfect.
Jesus Christ. Why did you hate me so much when we met?
I did. Only because of wanting you so badly.
Oh my fucking
I
god.
still don't know if I can control myself.
Climbs the tree Edward is in.
I know you can.
Edward jumps from the tree, followed by Bella.
I can't read your mind. You have to tell me what you're thinking.
Stretches his hands forward and rests both palms on a big rock so that Bella stands in the middle of them, his hand and the rock.
He literally does like the high school like
This is so bad.
Now I'm afraid.
How did this make like $1 bajillion?
He's like 10 1,000 years old, and she's like,
Actually, I'm
Dude,
17.
it's real bad.
I'm
This-
17.
What's he really in like in the movie? What is he like 100 and something, right?
I think so, bro. Nobody looked
100
at
and
this the
something.
right
and
way.
he's like and he's trying to bang some 17-year-old girl.
Mentally, I'm 17.
I want you
He's
so
talking about heroin.
much. Jesus Christ.
And he's so emo too. It's so bad. I mean, this dude is literally like all he needs is like some black hair in his face, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Now I'm afraid.
Good.
Steps forward. Oh wait, steps backward. Steps forward.
I'm not a... What?
I say good, and then I step back, and then you close the distance.
Immediately after saying, now I'm afraid, I'm not afraid of you. I'm
Yeah.
only afraid of losing you. I feel like you're going to disappear.
You don't know how long I've waited for you.
This is a predatory story. Oh, no.
And so the lion fell in love with the lamb.
What a stupid lamb.
What a sick, masochistic lion.
Jesus Christ.
I'm burning this script.
Dude, this thing needs to go in a fire.
Oh, my God. Directed by...
He sparkles
Thank
again.
you,
Ariel.
thank you. Yeah, and he sparkles again.
They look into
in
each
each other's
other's
eyes. It's so bad, dude. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
And cut. End scene. That's
End
a wrap.
scene.
I'm
Jeez.
officially firing myself because this is Scott Hansen
This is
or Chris
trash,
Hansen's
can
about to
it?
show up over this shit. Hey, Edward.
I'm surprised he didn't put the mic down and just he's like, bye, guys.
And just walk off set.
I mean, like, it's
Thank you for dealing with our absurdity, Ariel.
No, man. It was so much fun until it got really weird, and I realized like I picked the wrong script because like I feel some kind of way now. I feel like I need to scrub my skin with bleach. That's really bad.
I think we need to take to the Twilight series, and I think we need to start asking some real questions.
Yeah.
Ooh, that could be another segment. It's like Law and Order tone.
Dun,
Bum,
dun.
bum.
And then we start really questioning.
Special victims unit.
Now
because
let's
it's-
really talk
literally-
about Twilight.
I mean, this is
Dumbledore
crazy.
really
That was actually crazy, dude.
That's why. I mean, like, look, I've never watched any of them. I'm
Yeah.
never gonna watch any of them. But hand to God, that is the worst shit I've ever read. Let alone, it made me feel uncomfortable.
No,
so
absolutely.
bad, dude.
He literally like does the whole like arms around blocking her in thing. That's so fucking creepy.
How long have you been 17?
A while.
Jeez, dude. Wow.
And then he just darts around trees for 5 minutes.
throws a branch.
Yeah, he just randomly
What the
picks up.
fuck,
How
dude?
funny
You're like
would it have been-
heroin to me.
Like how funny would it have been if it was like just a little twig, like he's trying to show off how strong he is. It's a tiny little tree branch. He just throws it,
My
throws it
dude literally like
horrendously.
uproots a tree.
and then she's like, "Whoa!"
Very
As if you could
happy
stop me.
that Robert Pattinson's career evolved into what it is.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
love
you
What
him.
a
know,
blessing.
Look, no bullshit. He's actually got real acting. Like,
He's great.
Oh, no,
he's a
for
good
sure.
actor. It just what
Bad
sucks
launching
is that
series.
he got a bad start.
Yeah.
That
Right.
movie, I know he hates it. He talks about how much he
Yeah,
hates
no,
it.
yeah.
absolutely.
But when he did like Water for Elephants, and then he did a whole bunch of other, and then of course now he's in the Batman.
Yeah.
Dude, the dude's got skill. It really sucks that no matter where he goes, Edward
It's
Cullen
always
is going to haunt
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Because anywhere he goes, there's always that little fangirl going, "Oh my God, it's Edward!" And he's just like, "Fuck my life, just kill
Dude,
me."
yeah.
But I mean, like, it's unfortunate, but that's the life of an actor. You will have a character that would stick with you forever.
Yep.
What I really like is that he kind of like he went under the radar after
Yeah,
those
for a
movies
while.
and started doing indie films, and he was like, now
Total rebrand.
Yeah, he's like, I need to find out what I like to do, and now I mean, we've talked about The Lighthouse, how
Lighthouse
fucking
was-
fantastic
yeah.
he
William
was.
Dafoe is,
Ooh,
my God.
fantastic.
Chef's kiss.
yeah, see, that dude is amazing.
So, fuck Twilight.
Fuck Twilight.
We're happy for Robert Pattinson.
Yes, good for you, Robbie. Good for you,
So
man.
many good clips for the commercial.
Oh, Jesus, for real. All right. So one last question I want to end the show with, man.
Last
This is,
question.
one of my it's one of my favorite questions because it means a lot to people who are trying to get a start. What advice do you have for anyone trying to break into this industry at our level? People from the smaller scene who really want to get their hands on this stuff.
Okay, I can break that down in like 3 pieces. One, it's very cliquey sometimes, and you will run into people that like will not like you for whatever reason or no reason at all.
Right.
You're gonna run into that. That shit happens. You're gonna move on past that. You got to find your camp, find your boys,
Right.
your tribe, your homies, your family. You work with those people. At the same time, do not ever be afraid to branch out and find other people because you will never grow.
Right.
Don't pull an Adam Sandler. No offense
Yeah.
to the dude, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
that cat literally works with the same motherfuckers for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And while like some of it was good at first, like now it's just bad. It's sad funny. The
Yeah.
dude's gonna go out with like the most razzies ever, if
Right.
he keeps it up. But I mean, the thing is, he found his camp, but he's stuck with it. You have to keep evolving. Never stop evolving.
Right.
And then last but not least, and I think I've this has kind of become the mantra of the whole day is like you have two options to look at any opportunity. First off, every opportunity should be an opportunity. That's a really good saying that I've stuck with for years. But more importantly, understand that you have two ways to look at something if something is not starting off. First off, do not necessarily be totally crushed or discouraged. That shit's going to happen. It is not the way Hollywood makes it out to be, where it's just so easy to get done. But they have the resources and the money to fund something today if they want. You don't. So it will take time if it happens.
Right.
Now, in the event that does, understand you have two things. It's either it's not meant to be, or it's not meant to be right now. And so you have, you could take that and go like, all right, I'm going to give up on this. I'm going to scrap it, whatever. Or you could say, I'm going to put it aside and there will be a time and a place for this.
Right.
So don't necessarily be discouraged and think that everything that doesn't start up is not going to make. I mean, shit, the dude who did Squid Games, he tried getting that going
Yeah, for
10
like
years
10
ago.
years.
Yeah.
10 years. That's a decade. A decade
Insane.
of trying to get it
Exactly.
done. And then he finally got it picked up by Netflix, and it is one of the biggest things that they've ever made. It's a banger.
Right. Right.
So I tell people this, and I mean this like to the core of me, like you have to look at it as maybe it's just not right now. Do not necessarily give up on something that you really think has real potential unless it just, like I said, everything in the universe is telling you like it's just not.
This isn't
Right.
the way.
It's just not the way. And you will know the difference at some point because I do believe that there will be a definitive moment in that fork in the road, in that
Right.
path where you will just know like it's not
It's
it.
the make or break moment.
It's the make or break moment where it's like this isn't it.
Yeah.
And then you have to restructure, find that center within yourself, pick yourself up, and then go again. That's hard to do. I'm not trying to make it out to be easy.
Right.
I mean, you're gonna have a mental breakdown at some point. You may end up
Yeah.
in the tub with a bottle of whiskey,
Right.
depending on your own personal situation.
It happens to the best of us.
It does. But it's all about the idea of, okay, what has the most potential here? What has the most potential for anything? So for me, when I did Misunderstood, it's taken me 8 months, maybe even 10 months, actually, if you look at October, to get this going. It's
Yeah.
almost been a full year and I've not gotten this going. And I'm
Right.
so passionate about it. The cast is passionate about it. Roman's passionate about the writing.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I have my own camp. I got Roman. I got Anthony. I got Keith Migra.
Right.
I've got Beth Metcalf, who's an amazing character. I went through like 20 Lynns to get her,
Really.
and she was the best. I was like, I need that girl.
Yeah.
I met cats like Jake Cole, who I'm looking forward to very much working with at some point.
Right.
He's a really cool dude, and you will meet cool people along the way. Try to pick them up as you go. There's so many components to it, but the biggest thing I tell people is you just can't give up so easily because shit's not going your way first.
Yeah.
That takes time.
And that's a fantastic takeaway. And you're right. Thematically, that rings throughout this whole episode.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you bringing that viewpoint in because there's a reality that things aren't going to work out, but that's the best way to look at it. It's just not the time for it.
Yeah, it's not the time. I mean, look, I'm still early in my career. I've only been directing for like 3 years. So
Right.
this is still very much like day one.
Yeah.
Because I am nowhere near the level of some of the people I not necessarily idolize, but deeply respect.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Tarantino, like Scott. Like, I mean, Wes Anderson, as kooky as he is, I got respect for him
Oh,
because
yeah.
he's really good at what he does.
Absolutely.
But I mean, like, you have people out there doing stuff, and they've been at the game for years.
right.
You know, Nolan's been doing this for years. All
Yeah.
these people have been doing this shit for years.
Yeah.
But they also started out the way I started out. And
Exactly.
it wasn't always working for them.
Mhm.
But they took chances.
Hey, man.
They kept at it.
Tarantino worked at a Blockbuster when he was doing
Tarantino,
Reservoir
yeah.
Dogs, man. You
Kevin
know?
Smith funded his own, was it The Clerks with
Yeah.
none of them credit cards.
Yep.
Yep.
That shit could have busted in his face.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, he took a gamble because he knew that had potential.
Yep.
Exactly. And it was the right gamble.
And
to
it was the
take.
right gamble. So I mean, like, look, you got to really understand, like, how deep are you willing to go? How
Right.
badly do you want this? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to not do? And more importantly, how much fortitude do you have? Because this shit will crush you sometimes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It will totally destroy your soul. When shit's not going right, or you're meeting people, or those clicks are starting to go in on you, and now you're getting kind of pushed aside,
yeah.
it's gonna hurt. You're gonna feel
Oh
it.
yeah. Definitely.
But you have to understand that like those things are happening because it's leading you to a different path.
Right. Exactly.
But then again, like I said, the inner nihilism in me is just like, well, I mean, it just happens. It happens.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and you just go with it.
Exactly.
But I try not to bring that into this whole career of that because, like, I have
For
to believe this
sure.
all happens. I
Yeah,
have to
no,
believe this.
Exactly,
I try
man.
to live by like the mantra of like everything that happens to you brings you to the moment that you're at.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
There's a what was it? There was a guy who I think was trying to explain like certain, I forgot what it was, some scientist, some astrophysicist or whatever. But he's basically talking about the idea of just like, even if you want to look at destiny from a scientific, I mean, like everything in your life is, it's clocked out, it's this and that, it's
Yeah.
timed.
Yeah.
There's these moments, where you're going to go through it, and then it's going to lead you to where you are, and that's why you have
Mhm.
deja vu, right? I think it's what you're trying to
Yeah.
explain.
Wow.
So that
yeah.
tells you that
Okay.
like you were already there.
Yeah.
So I mean, like from a scientific point of view, like he was trying to break down the idea of like, yeah, you can break destiny into a science in a way.
Wow.
But at the same time, I just look at it as you will be where you're going to be.
Right.
Oh, for
I mean, there's really no other way around it
Mhm.
because I mean, here we are, we're having this experience. You will be where you're going to be. I'm here right now with you, and then in a week I will be somewhere else I'm meant to be,
Yeah.
and then a week from now I will be somewhere else I'm meant to be. But at least career wise, personally,
Right.
I don't know how much that really works as far as my personal life.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you have moments that you're meant to be there,
Right.
and I think shit just happens, and it's like, well, it just happens.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, and that's because I don't know what to really look at because I've had things happen that had like no real relevancy,
Right.
and it had
Mhm.
no like interwoven destiny
just
to
a
it.
random
Yeah.
occurrence.
And I was like, well, I mean, was
Entropy
it really,
at work.
Was it really necessary?
Right.
But I do very much try to lean towards the side of less nihilism and more faith that all of this is happening together. All of us are meeting each other for these reasons. We're all working together for these reasons.
For sure.
Yeah.
Our careers are picking us, and we're kind of picking them at the same time for a
Right.
reason. So I try to be more positive with it because it's hard. I mean, we live in a
Yeah.
very harsh reality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, absolutely, man.
The way that I interpret it all, and not even necessarily so much in like a faith standpoint, is just like every action shapes you somehow through the experience you have with it, and
Right.
then somehow you draw on it later in your life.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, this has been an awesome episode.
Yeah, it was
love
super
talking
great to
you,
meet
man.
you,
No, I
man.
appreciate it, man. Thank you guys so much for having me. It's
For
been a
sure.
blast. I mean, I had fun.
Yeah, you got anything specific you want to plug before we end out?
Final plugs.
Oh shit. Okay, so we got Misunderstood coming out at some point. We're gonna do the Indiegogo. So
Yep.
please, if you can, donate and share when the link does go up.
Anyone on the Storyworks podcast Facebook page, we'll be sharing that up there. So
yeah,
keep a
sharing that
lookout
as
for
well.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The journal is coming out April, May next year, and then we got
Nice.
some other stuff in the works. So if I had dates, I'd be like, yeah, check it out on this and this. But
Oh, for sure.
I do know
Yeah.
that those two are pretty much like the two that I'm really focused on right now. That I'm really excited the most about.
Yeah.
And then there's that other stuff that I can't talk about. It's
Yeah.
all hush hush.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
once-
already know.
Once
yeah,
it comes
for
out,
sure.
we can talk about it then because like
Yeah,
friends,
we'll get all in there. Yeah,
we'll get
we'll
all
get
up
into
in that.
We
You know,
got
like,
the inside scoop.
talk about that,
Yeah,
that
that'll be
inside
fun.
shit. Yeah, like,
Hell
oh,
yeah.
what'd you work with? What's that about? What was that like?
Yeah, boy. All
Yeah,
right,
that's
man.
cool.
Well, hell yeah. We'll definitely have you on soon. Thanks for coming,
Anytime.
guys. Thanks for listening to the Storyworks podcast. Thanks to 626 Sound, as always, for helping out, producing this, and making it all possible. All right, guys.
Sayonara.
Peace.
We'll see you next time.